What is up, studettes? Hey, you can all hear Bulls on Wall Street back in America, so I got time to do the watch list. Hope everybody's been having a good time. Sorry that the watch list's been delayed lately, but by the time the market closes in Europe the last few months, it's 10 p.m. over there. By the time it's 8 p.m., Eastern time, it's 2 p.m. over there, 2 a.m. over there. So, that's one of the ones that, one of the things that slipped by. But let's take a look at the general indexes and then let's figure out what we got to do for tomorrow. So first of all, the market is in a monster trend. At this point, there's a couple things. This is probably the longest, at least I've seen, that we've just been over the 20 SMA and the 9 EMA. We had this one test here, but that's about it, right? So since I've been trading, this is one of the longer periods. I can't remember one off the top of my head that has lasted this long. If you really look here, it's like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 90 days, 100 days. We've just been over the EMAs. Haven't seen that before. So it's a swing. It's a all systems is go market. Swing trading is working. Day trading is working. Investors are making money, right? Everybody's making money. You have the wind at your back. And then beyond that, what's changed in this ramp versus, previous ramps is that, small caps and mid caps are going too, right? So it's across the board. A lot of these runs we've seen are just like in the mega Mag 7 stocks, but this time, we're seeing it, really across the board in all sorts of turds. Meme stocks are going, right? You're having Reddit pumps now. So this is the frothy part of the market, right? Where it's like, the pumpers are out in full force too. As the market gets more and more extended, crappier and crappier stocks have to go. So, if you start to see pot stocks go, shipping stocks go, that's when you have to be a little bit cautious that one day you're going to probably have like a nasty little, loss in your account, but you got to kind of push the chips in, but just be aware that there'll be a day you wake up and you're like, fuck, I should have sold everything. But when that day comes, you never know. It could be 2 days from now. It could be 2 months from now. But we are, of course, a little bit extended. But it's not like we've gone parabolic. We've just been kind of creeping over the EMA. So just something to kind of keep in mind of, one day, like you'll wake up and you'll be stopped out of 4 swing positions and all your day trades, like, you'll hit them on some momentum trade and they'll fail. And you'll have to flip short and, do some weird shit. And you'll be like, fuck, I wish I'd sold the day before. But that's the nature of the game. If you want to have like elongated gains, you have to be willing to risk some level of drawdown. You can't trade scared, right? So that's just the way it goes. So if you look at the SPY, it's trending up. Even the IWM is over the 200-day moving average, right? What a sneaky little move here. Even with interest rates been rising and fucking around, it really doesn't look like any cuts are coming, right? They've been going too, and that's how right? When the speculative fever is in, that's when you got a good market. And even I myself have been trading, some of these turds and stuff like that, mostly on the short side. But, some just fucking awesome stuff. So let's take a look at the watch list for today, for tomorrow. It's Friday. Fridays get a little bit nutty, so just be mindful. But I got a couple things that I really like here. I got this BE on the watch list. I think this has got a good location to it. So I would definitely add that bad boy. I think, some of these stocks are probably going to get some traction too. You've got about a 50-point pullback in COIN into the bone zone. 4 red days in a row. I think just a little gap down tomorrow. If it holds 388, I think in that zone, I think we should be in the cards. And if you look here, like, MSTR is at a good spot too. You got the 460. It's also pulled back, 50 points. It gets a little confusing because now MSTR and COIN are the same price, but both of these are in good locations. I've been watching this dash here. This to me is a little bit more of a swing setup here. My worry is that, right, like this is probably, right, prime time, one of those stocks like, that looks good, and then one day you'll wake up and like the market's just gapped down, a significant amount. But we're not there yet, but you've got a compression breakout that's just kind of happening right there. AMD is still cooking away. Look at all the volume accumulation, on this thing the last few days, or last few weeks. Just a fantastic look. I think this is, prime time for tomorrow for maybe a little zero DTE fun. If it opens weak, we can go red to green and play this kind of flag breakout that's setting up on it. ARM, same type of deal, right? You got a nice little compression that's been happening here. Probably, 161, 162 is a good trigger on this. Looks pretty good. Reddit's got a nice little Nike swoop on this thing, right? So, you got yourself this nice pop, and then just your little, right, pet the snake. You got a little pet the snake on this thing. You can see here, right? Pet that snake. Pet that snake, right? Say that to somebody on the subway and see what happens. Now, beyond that, don't worry about Roblox yet. It needs way more pull. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, this MU I'm interested in. So, its earnings are not for a couple months. So, we got that good spot. So, we remounted the 50-day moving average today. So, we got to 130, pulled back to basically 110. So, maybe like, a $20 retracement. Nice action on this today for the most part. And you're remounting the 50 SMA. I think that could even be a potential swing trade if it can kind of hold there. Usually you want to see kind of break over the 9 before you get up and juicy. Aklo, dude, we ripped hits and butts on this fucking thing today. We hit this hard on the green and then we reloaded into the VWAP, added some into the flag. I think I took like 30, 40 trades in this thing today, between entries and exits. And then, dude, beautiful push into the VWAP. Guys, when you look at like a quintessential, like your the time frames of the different parts of the day and where a stock should go to, that's what you want to see. That's your ideal movement of a stock, meaning, right, a week open, a break over the previous day's highs, right? The first pullback into the EMAs, a flag breakout, a VWAP trade into the end of the day. Like that's your picture perfect. That's your picture perfect kind of time zones of what a stock is supposed to do during those specific times. Take a snapshot of that. That's exactly how a stock is supposed to look when it busts out. And this is obviously a break on multiple time frames, so it acts a lot cleaner. SMR, boom, 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 boom. That's nice too, man. We took a nice trade on this one here. Woo! I scaled out the last of it a little. I think maybe 5240s or something like that. But this was hot. Pull back into the EMA, dude, flag breakout. The whole works, right? Like that's hot. First of all, tons of volume, tons of range. You got a 9.8% ATR on this thing. I mean, for a $60 stock, that's really, really good. So just be mindful. Like it's a good trader. This and Aklo, back and forth, are just great, great traders. So keep those on the watch list. I'm watching this, $50 mark on RKLB. More of a scalp setup, but looks pretty good. Sell H. I've been eyeballing this one actually for I was looking for a swing, but the earnings are coming up, so I won't take a stock before earnings. But 47.50. It just looks ripe for like a little bit of a move. It's still got a pretty low float on it. Unity Software, after this big base breakout, this is your first pullback into the bone zone. It's starting to marinate here. Let's see. It looks like this kind of 34-ish zone will be like a little bit of a trigger to kind of get this thing back. It may need to chop around a little bit more and kind of do pop up and then refill and then go. But, overall, like, man, that's a good look. Good trader, too. It's got decent enough liquidity, all that kind of fun stuff. Dude, we're looking pretty good. So just some different things to kind of keep them a little, maybe if the nukes keep going, keep an eye on this Lightbridge. Lightbridge Aklo to potentially co-locate nuclear fuel facilities, right? So it is like kind of in that field. The volume has been pretty light, but like at some point it's going to rip this 17 and just really rip tits. But the first trigger is probably here, and then, it gets to here. So watch and see if you get any action on this one. I think somebody's going to push this thing soon. The only issue on this thing is the earnings. So just a day trade setup so far. You may forget about this one. Hey, this Coursera, like last time it had earnings, actually traded okay. Let's see what you got. Gap earnings, revenues rise, raises outlook too. Dude, no, that's like a nice trifecta there. If you can, if you beat on revs, beat on earnings, and you raised outlook, that's pretty good. The float's only 100 million on this bad boy, so we've got ourselves a good looker on this thing too. So keep an eye on this, and then of course, dude, wake up early. This is like, I'm notorious for like not believing in trading in pre-market or post-market, but this is a good time to just wake up a little bit early, check for the news plays. I would say half to maybe a little bit more of my profits of late have been actually in the pre-market. Go fucking figure. Now some of that was, being in Europe and stuff like, pre-market is like noon over there, right? So I don't know if I'll be able to handle it back in the States, but we're going to give it a good old-fashioned college try. Cautious, aggressive when we see the setups, but cautious that, and just know one day, right? You may get stopped out of a lot of things. We're due for one of those like kind of just 2% down days where everybody keeps trying to buy the intraday dip. Because they have been working, right? Like, you buy intraday dips, I got some buddies that are futures traders. They're like, dude, QQQ just dips down to support, we fucking long. And they got all these, like, made-up supports. Like, I got previous day close, previous day close, New York close, London close, Asia high, Asia open, Asia this, Asia that, London close, London high of day. I'm like, you got like fucking 40 fucking support and resistance zones, right? Like, give me a break. And it just falls and they buy it because the market has just been trending higher. So the futures traders are, they've been also trained right into just buying all these dips and stuff. But everybody has. So there'll be one of those days that comes, but when they come, we don't really know, right? So let's go and just have some fun and do what we do. Peace.